It's summer in St. Louis, which means it's hot, it's sticky, and we're all on the hunt for something sweet to cool us down. Hi, I'm George Mahe, and with me is my always chill co-host.
Oh, I like that intro. This is Cheryl Baehr.
And in this episode of Archie's, we're doing just that. We've already covered our go-to spots for ice cream and frozen custard in a previous episode. So today's focus is going to be a little different. Like we did with barbecue, we're skipping the usual suspects and we're going to dive into the frozen treats you might not know about, the brand new ones or offbeat or underrated, the crave-worthy items you didn't even know you were craving.
This episode of Arch Eats is sponsored by Anheuser-Busch Brewery Tours and Experiences.
But first, it's what I can't stop thinking about this week, and Cheryl and I are on the same page once again.
And it's so funny because we didn't set out to do this. Maybe it's because chicken salad is something that you don't have to heat up. It's nice and cool. We're so disgustingly hot right now.
It's a summertime item, really.
It is a summertime item. So I stumbled upon chicken salad from St. Louis Rotisserie. This was actually brought in for a lunch here at the office. And I'd never been there before. I'd heard about it. I love a good rotisserie chicken. But I ordered the chicken salad sandwich and I was blown away. I am a chicken salad fan. It's one of my favorite things to eat. And theirs was delicious. It's made with the rotisserie chicken. Super simple. It has celery and red onion. Just some really good seasoning I think you get from the rotisserie chicken.
It's really smart because they've got all these rotisserie chickens, and at the end of the day, if they have rotisserie chickens left over, chicken salad.
Brilliant. And it's so good. I hate to say this. I was joking with you that my late mother is probably rolling over in her grave right now because I think it's better than Straub's. And I know that is like, oh boy, we're going to cue the emails.
Right.
But I loved it. I thought it had a richness, just absolutely perfect. But I am curious, you have a chicken salad to add to the list.
Yes, I do. And it's not Straub's. The chicken salad, I am going to take you to Citizen Kane's Marketplace out in Kirkwood. If you know that place, it's very, very unusual, very cool. It has all the items that are on Citizen Kane's menu, all the steaks, the Mayfair salad, the Mayfair dressing, the same sauces and butters, and everything you want from Citizen Kane's is there. But they also have incredible sandwiches. Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about that, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for the chicken salad. And theirs is made with light and dark meat.
Oh.
That's a big difference.
Which is great.
And it adds a lot more flavor. Mayo, smoked paprika, celery, roasted pecans, and grapes. Fairly simple and really, really good. It's $13.99 a pound, which is less than a lot of gourmet chicken salads because I think they're using dark meat, and dark meat's cheaper than using just straight white meat. It's really, really good chicken salad. Go for the steaks and the Mayfair dressing, but don't sleep on the chicken salad. I should say that they're open Wednesday through Saturday only. It's not a market open all the time. Really good if you haven't been there. Citizen Kane's in Kirkwood.
So maybe pick up some steaks for dinner.
Exactly.
And then a big thing of chicken salad for lunch, and you are set for the day.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
We'll be right back.
St. Louis beer lovers, your next culinary experience is right in your backyard at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery and Tour Center. Anheuser-Busch invites guests to its next food and beverage pairing dinner at the Budweiser Beer Garden on Thursday, July 17th. Hosted by the brewery's head chef and certified Cicerone, the evening features a 4-course meal complemented with 4 carefully selected Anheuser-Busch beverages. July's theme is the All-Star Menu, showcasing the most requested pairings served at the beer garden. Seats are limited and filling quickly. Reserve your seat today by visiting BudweiserTours.com. And now, back to the show.
So that's a couple cool items to start with, but we're going to get into some unusual desserts and some from some of the normal places you might think of and some that are brand new. I'm going to kick off with one that's brand new. It's called Domo.
Yes. Oh, I love this place.
And
I'm so excited
this is
about
a cool place from Jason Jan. He owns Nami Ramen and several froyo shops over the years. And this is like a very unusual, whimsical alternative to your traditional ice cream shop. It's custom flavors, and what makes it different is they've got this special blending machine. I don't even know how to describe it, except it's this thing with this giant auger in it. So you put the ice cream in there with your add-in toppings. It blends them all together, puts them out into a cup, and then it cleans itself and is ready for the next application. Again, it's all about interactive and all about experiences, and this is really a fun one to watch.
So you're truly getting a custom flavor. It's not that you're getting toppings added into after the fact ice cream. They are actually making you custom ice cream.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
There's a base, you can go vanilla, chocolate, or the non-dairy coconut option, and there's 30 add-ins. So you could do this for a while and never repeat yourself.
Oh, that's cool.
They've got the usual berries and mango and pineapple and chocolate chips and cheesecake bites, cookies, candy, cereals, you name it. So you can stay busy there for a while. It's really a lot of fun. They have stock items for those that can't decide from the 30 items, which I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there in that boat. So they'll serve it in a cup or in a milkshake form, or they also have an extensive drink menu, which is curated by Jason Jan's wife and business partner. She's passionate about Asian teas, and there are all kinds of tea options, teas, smoothies, milk teas, sparklers, cheese foam teas. So this is at Domo. There's a lot to experience, a lot to learn, a lot to enjoy. And by the way, Domo is a play on the Japanese word domo, D-O-M-O, which translates in English to very. And the concept is very cool. It's Domo out in Olivet, open every day, noon to 9, 10 on weekends. Check it out. You like it. You've been there.
I love it. George, it's taking every ounce of strength not to say domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, but I digress. I'm going to a place on South Grand called Joyful House, which is inside the World Market International Grocery Store. This place is pretty far south on Grand. It's significantly south of Chippewa. I actually wandered in there because a really good friend of mine told me they had these great Viet Cajun seafood boils, which when I heard of it, I'm thinking, what is Viet Cajun food? But apparently it's something that's very popular in Houston, Texas. There's a significant Vietnamese community down there, and they have taken the Cajun influence of the area and infuse Vietnamese culinary traditions with that. So you'll get seafood boils, think your Cajun crab boils, but also pho and all these really fun things like that. This place is wonderful. We could talk all about it just in that regard, but I tried an avocado smoothie there just on a whim. I love avocados. I love smoothies.
I don't know about this one.
I thought the exact same thing, and I was encouraged to try it by my friend who'd had them a million times. I don't like syrupy sweet desserts. I like very subtle. That's why I always go vanilla ice cream. This is lovely. The avocado, it doesn't taste like an avocado. It's more like you get this velvety texture. It has almost more of like a vanilla flavor. I would describe it as, think of what pistachio ice cream is like, where you're kind of getting an essence of something, but it's not an overwhelming flavor.
I've had avocado ice cream, and it's the same way. It's not overpowering. It's barely avocado.
Yes, this has more like lovely flavors of vanilla and sweet cream. I found it to be decadent, yet still refreshing. It felt just so nourishing on these hot days, like you feel like you're wilting. And this thing brought me back to life. So I highly recommend it. Check out the Viet Cajun food while you're there and wash it down with one of these smoothies. You will be so thrilled.
There's another place that you like that's kind of in the same part of town.
There is. It's Cafe Ganadara, and I'm actually lumping two places together for this entry for bingsu, which is the Korean shaved iced milk dessert. They have it at Cafe Ganadara, which is very far south on Southampton, and they also have it at a place that's dedicated strictly to bingsu and teas called Spoonful, which is out in West County. Now, I love shaved ice. It's one of my favorite summertime desserts. I probably eat shaved ice more than I do ice cream in the summer. I just find it to be really refreshing.
I'm glad you're talking about this because most people don't know what bingsu is. It's the Korean national dessert, apparently.
It's wonderful. It is so lovely. So think the texture of the fluffiest shaved ice you've had, and then add a little bit of milk in there. So it's fluffy and light and delicate and that snow-like texture, but it has the cream factor of ice cream. So just wonderful. It's a very neutral canvas, So what a lot of these places do is they put all sorts of topping. Think if you go to Ted Drew's and you get all your frozen custard fixins. At Spoonful, they have a wonderful blueberry one. I think I've talked at length about that, where they use a house-made blueberry syrup
Right,
and fresh
right, right.
blueberries. But then we always get the mango one at Cafe Ganadara because it's my daughter's absolute favorite. She is obsessed with bingsu. All of her tween friends love it. It is a trendy dessert for sure, but it's also so delicious. Very light, very refreshing. I think it's perfect for summertime heat.
There's a place that's similar to that. It's reminding me of a place fairly new again down in the Central West End called Vampire Penguin.
Yes.
And theirs is kind of the same thing. This one is almost between a snow cone and ice cream. So it's a low-calorie frozen dessert, but with it, just like bingsu, you can get a variety of flavors and toppings. This is a franchise, I should say, and there's a classic menu of toppings that they have. One of them that I tried, which is, let me set the table here, caramel apple pie snow. How about that?
Wow.
Green apple snow topped with crushed shortbread cookies and caramel sauce.
Oh, George, that sounds lovely.
There's ones with peanut butter. There's ones with chocolate. There's a lot of variety there. And again, the base is like 70 or 80 calories. I wouldn't call it a health food, but it's not like eating high-calorie ice cream. And it's so, so refreshing in the middle of summer.
And I've never been there, but the pictures I see, the texture of it, I mean, it almost looks like ribbons. It's really a stunning texture, it looks like. Have you found that it's really silky, light? How would you describe that?
Exactly right. It's got ice cream, but it's got snow cone characteristics, but it's not that grainy, icy
Yes.
flavor that you might expect
Yeah,
by making that comparison. But
that sounds delicious.
anyway, Vampire Penguin, fairly new in the Central West End. They're on Euclid, a little bit north of Forest Park Parkway, and they're open Thursday through Monday, varying hours. Really worth the trip, though. And it kind of hides there in the middle of the block. You kind of have to know where you're going.
Yeah, that's a fun spot, a fun name too. So I live in Wildwood. I have family that lives in Kirkwood. You have heard me complain about driving down Manchester Road, basically from one end to the other so many times. You're probably sick of it.
It takes a week.
It takes a week, exactly. But the one good thing of creeping along in bumper to bumper traffic is you notice everything that's along the road. And one of the things that sprung up there about a year and a half ago is a place called Twisted Rolls Chimney Cakes. And I drove by a million times, like, what on earth is a twisted roll or a chimney cake? So I didn't think too much of it until a friend of mine who lived in Budapest for a while was like, oh my gosh, there's this place here in town. They serve Hungarian chimney cakes. I'm thinking, okay. So we went in there. These things, and I know you've written about them, they're like the texture of a waffle, but they're the shape of, do you know those pastry horns that they fill with pastry
Exactly.
cream? They're so wonderful. They're the perfect base for ice cream.
They take a long strip of pastry and they roll it onto a cone-shaped spit.
Yes.
And then they bake it and they roll it in some sugar and some goodies. It could be dried fruit. It could be
Yes.
anything. And
Crushed
that-
Oreo cookie. I love that
Exactly.
one.
So you've got this vehicle that can be eaten all by itself when it's perfectly fine. It's a Hungarian street food for
Yes.
sure. But you can also stuff it with ice cream.
I mean,
And that's
why
what
would
we're
you
here
not?
to talk about.
Exactly. So they have a classic version. Again, here I am with my basic vanilla. I do love that. But their pistachio is very good. They have a cookies and cream one where the chimney cake itself is encrusted with Oreo. So that one's wonderful. But the one that I see a lot of people, especially kids, get, they have a Fruity Pebbles one. The cake is encrusted in Fruity Pebbles cereal.
Perfect.
And then they put Fruity Pebbled ice cream in it. It's so colorful. It's so whimsical. Everything about this place is just thrilling.
Yeah, they've got 8 flavors of ice cream. And what I didn't know, I said, where does your ice cream come from? Hershey's. Hershey's makes ice cream. I had no idea.
I had no idea.
Pretty darn good ice cream, by the way.
Wow.
So yeah, that's chimney cake. What is out in Baldwin?
It is. So driving a little further east down Manchester, at West County Mall, of all places, is a rolled ice cream place called Snow Factory. I'm going to do like I did with Bingsu in that there's also a place out in Oakville called Roll Up Ice Cream and Eatery. So again, here I am talking about the trendy desserts. rolled ice cream is a thing. And I know it's been around for a little while, but it's definitely having a resurgence.
It's a thing in Thailand.
Yes.
And they opened the first one here it's been around since 2016. A young kid who was a senior at the University of Missouri, St. Louis, opened up the first one in the Loop, if you remember.
Yes.
And he had it on the streets of Thailand and thought this would really be a cool thing to do here. There's all kinds of food trucks there that specialize in it. So that's where it started. And then the second store ended up at West County Mall.
At West County Mall, which is the remaining store.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. So as soon as I start hearing my almost 12-year-old freaking out about something, I know it's got to be all over the internet.
And TikTok.
Exactly. It's all over TikTok. It's all over everywhere. So what's fun about this dessert is it's kind of like when you've had those marble slab ice creams where they have the frozen counter and they incorporate all sorts of things in that. They have this base. They incorporate whatever kind of fruit and flavorings that you want, but then they spread it out flat over this flat top frozen. It's not a griddle because it's not hot, but surface.
Looks
we'll
like a
just say.
griddle.
Exactly. And they just keep spreading and manipulating it until it freezes to the point where they take this scraper and they actually roll it up into the shape of a cigar. And then you get these tubes and they stuff them vertically in a cup and then top it with whatever extra toppings you want. So it's really fun. It's almost like a fruit roll-up of ice cream.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. The one in Oakville is a really fun one, too. They also have savory stuff like sandwiches and side dishes. And they have a gooey butter cake one that is the ultimate St. Louis treat. You get gooey butter flavored ice cream rolled up with a piece of gooey butter cake garnished on top.
All right, I want
We've
one.
gone a little too far. It's a little much, but you know.
Yeah, rolled ice cream, Thai ice cream. If you hear people talk about Thai ice cream, it's this rolled product that is just really fun. Another place that's fun and fairly new is over on Ladue Road in the old Maggie Moo's space, if you know where that is. A guy named Fabio Viviani, he's a celebrity chef, a multi-unit restaurant guy, a cookbook author. He's a TV host. He reimagined a dessert experience during COVID. He wanted to find a concept during the pandemic that involves little or no labor, little or no physical contact or space or expertise or investment. So what did he do? He comes up with this idea where these are clear jars and he's got basically a custard base and different cakes and different toppings, and it kind of looks like a trifle, a little mini trifle. The other thing that he does, you can also alternate that with soft serve, and it's just really a cute product. It's very photogenic. They've got them in a standard size, and then they've got them in a smaller, a mini size, I guess he calls them, that they send out to rehearsal dinners and wedding day brunches and things like that. He calls them 3 bites and you're done.
That's
experience.
Perfect.
And
that's all you want.
That's all you want. That's all you need, especially at something like that. But this is something unusual. It's a franchise. You're going to see more of these. It's very popular at office parties, and they send out these giant trays of them, all this variety, and it's all this beautiful colors. And they've got tres leches, they've got red velvet cheesecake, there's a banana cream pie, tiramisu. I think there's like 50 flavors. They've got, I want to say, a dozen at any one time. It's really quite fun and very unusual and very new and different.
Wow. Do you get to customize, or are they already done for you?
They're already done for you. There's certain stock flavors, and I know there's different flavors every week, so you keep coming back.
Wow, that sounds like such a good place. Well, one place that we've both talked about that we love is Sando Shack. I've loved Sando Shack ever since it started as a food truck and then patronized their storefront in Tower Grove South. Now they are in downtown Maplewood. What a fun place. Known for Japanese sandwiches, which, you know, that right there is worth the visit. But they do those fun desserts. You're seeing them at a lot of places. You're seeing them at a lot of Asian-inspired restaurants.
They've got them at Domo, actually,
yes.
as well. I know what you're talking
They're
about.
They're called taiyaki.
Right.
And they're little waffles perfectly shaped like a fish. They even have the little drawings and stuff so that when you press it on the waffle maker, it actually indents. So you get all these cute patterns and things. They're so darling. I love them. They're very whimsical. But the thing that's fun about Sando Shack is they've partnered with the folks at Sugar Witch a beloved St. Louis brand, which we could talk for hours about their ice cream sandwiches. Sugar Witch also makes ice cream, and they've collaborated with Sando Shack on a couple different flavors. They have a red bean vanilla swirl, which is very traditional. Taiyaki often filled with sweet red
Exactly.
bean paste. They have a yuzu caramel. They have a matcha, a miso taro, and then the owner, Amy's favorite, is black sesame brittle.
Mm.
That just right there sounds
And
heaven.
really, all you need to know is that the folks at Sugar Witch are making this ice cream. If you've
Yes.
had any of their ice cream sandwiches, you're in, you're sold, you're done. They're the best in town.
They
And
really
when I
are.
found out that they were doing ice cream and it was available up at Sando Shack, you can get a bowl,
Yes.
a cup with a couple scoops in it, but you can also get it stuffed the way you said.
Exactly.
How fun is that?
I
I
know.
mean, kids of all ages will come flocking to the place just for that.
It's like the most whimsical waffle cone you could ever experience. Kind of like a cross between a waffle cone and an ice cream sandwich. Get two of them, smash it together. That's where I'm going to be spending my summer.
So I'm going to be spending the next hour.
Right?
Another place that obviously makes great local ice cream is Serendipity, and
Yes.
they supply the ice cream at a place called Sylvie D's in Webster.
Yes.
And if you haven't been there, it's this charming little hole-in-the-wall place. It has ice cream, it has candy, it has chocolate, and all kinds of... The candies are very unusual. Some of them are European. They have the original Swedish fish from Sweden.
Oh,
You
nice.
think you have your favorite Swedish fish brand. Think again, because this one is better. Anyway, it's west of Elm.
Very close to Bagel Union.
Next to Bagel Union,
Yep.
next to the Off Elm, the cocktail bar. They serve Blueprint coffee. They're getting into the cooler trends. They have Italian sodas. They have dirty sodas. You've talked about that somewhere.
I have. George, you and I are so trendy today. Look at us hitting all these.
Cold brew floats. There's another one. I'm a cold brew
Wow.
guy. But what I'm here to talk about is their ice cream nachos.
What? Excuse me.
Okay, and it's not corn chips. No, these are the little waffle cone chips. And they put 3 scoops of ice cream next to them with your choice of 3 toppings. And they've got like 25 toppings and like 8
Oh my
sauces.
God.
So you can just go crazy. But it's really fun because you've got these little scoopers made of waffle cones. And it's really smart because if you've ever made waffle cones, they break. This is how they use up probably their broken up waffle cones, right?
Okay.
The ones they couldn't use as standard cones.
It's brilliant because as a waffle cone aficionado, I always want to get to the waffle cone, but you have to go through so much ice cream to get there.
You got to eat a scoop and a half of ice cream just to
Yes.
get there. Here, you've got instant reward.
Oh my
Your waffle
gosh.
cone is your spoon, is your scooper. And it's just a really fun idea. And, you know, anytime you call something ice cream nachos, you go, I don't know what it is, but it's got to be good.
This is genius. I feel like you may have changed my life.
Hope so. Just with one mention, that's awesome. Also, the folks that own Sylvie D's, I should mention, opened up a second location at City Foundry STL. They're in the former Century Coffee spot. Might be the best spot at City Foundry because it's in the breezeway right under that giant sign that says food hall.
Yep.
You have to go through there. And as you do go through there, you will see Sylvie D's on your left. And they have taken over that. So all these goodies are available there. They've also taken over a little sidebar, Maypop Garden Shop in Webster. Did you know that?
I did not. I love Maypop. That is so nice.
As of, I think, the 1st of May of 25, they took that over. And what's fun is they had some interesting ideas, including they're hosting a Webster Grove Farmers Market every other Saturday in the summer there. So really fun. Very creative folks, like to have a good time. Sylvie D's in Webster is just this cute little place. It's got that little alleyway that you can have a coffee in the morning and a pastry, or you can buy some ice cream there a little later on. They've got sidewalk chalk for the kids. It's about as charming and small towny as you can get. That's Sylvie D's. Go to either location. The last place I want to mention, and it's just maybe the most refreshing thing that you can
Oh.
find in the summertime, is the paleta.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
They're made with, whole fruits and fruit puree. It's basically a big popsicle.
I'll eat a pineapple one any day of the week.
And you can find these around town, but you kind of have to look for them. I mean,
Mhm.
popsicles are everywhere, but these are just really absolutely delicious. I first got turned on to them at the Tower Grove Farmers Market at a place called Poptimism.
Yes.
And they're at City Foundry now, too, and they're basically worked out of Whisk Bake Shop. It started with Whisk. I think Poptimism came out of it. But anyway, these paletas are, oh my gosh, those I think that's maybe where I had it. I had an avocado paleta.
Oh.
And I go, I don't know about this. It was delicious. Peach basil, cucumber lime, watermelon. There's a cantaloupe sea salt and a couple of their seasonal ones. I just read peach goat cheese, peach cobbler. Did I have you at either one of those?
I mean, all of them.
And one I just have to try just because of the name. Choco Taco Papo.
It's wonderful. Who doesn't love a Choco Taco? They're classic.
And I guess the other place that's known for their paletas is La Velasana down on Cherokee Street. And if you go in, it's kind of hidden in there. You walk in, they're sitting in a case, and you might walk right by it, but there's always a dozen flavors, sometimes more. And again, you'll find all kinds of unusual flavors there, and they're not marked. You have to like, what's this one? What's that one? What's this one? Anyway, always fun to just run in there, even if you're just walking down Cherokee Street. Just go in and get a paleta and be on your way.
That's a taste of summer, George.
A taste of summer. I love it. That's about 10 tastes of summer.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
that we offered. We'll be right back.
This episode of Arch Eats is supported by Proper Brands. Proper Cannabis believes in elevating life through premium cannabis products. From flower and vapes to topicals and edibles, they've got something for everyone. Their in-house brands include Daily Driver, Honeybee, Ratio, and Goodnight. Visit any of the 10 St. Louis area Proper Cannabis stores to take advantage of $30 eighths and new lower flower pricing. Plus, first-time customers get 30% off their first 3 visits. Learn more at propercannabis.com. And now, back to the show.
That'll bring us to our micro rant, totally unrelated, but this is one that you came up with, and I just went, oh yeah. So why don't you start it off? Nothing to do with ice cream,
No.
but...
So I have ranted so much about poor quality to-go cutlery. I don't even know if I want to call it cutlery because, I mean, it's just flimsy plastic that snaps with barely the slightest amount of pressure. I'm not the Hulk over here.
I know, you call it, what did you call it? Poor quality? I call it cheap-ass plasticware.
I think I was trying to be refined and called it poor quality cutlery.
Leave it to me to be unrefined.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I would like to say this includes napkins as well. You've heard me rant also about napkins, these flimsy things. What am I supposed to do with this? It drives you crazy, but you have a nice meal. We're doing so much to-go food now as a culture that we're eating takeout from upscale restaurants.
And eating takeout all the time. And getting
eating it all the
delivery all the
time.
time.
So, yes, I understand that a lot of people are taking it home and they can use their own silverware. But, some of us find ourselves in situations where we can't do that. And I need a knife that I can actually cut through a piece of white bread, for God's sake. It drives me nuts.
I totally agree. And I told a story where I remember doing that. I had to choke up on a cheapo knife just to cut through an enchilada.
An enchilada, for God's sake.
I knew it was going to break, so I had to choke way up on it. You got me practically holding onto the blade.
Yes.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, I understand that prices are rough, that the business is really difficult right now, but just give us a little dignity.
Well, it's one of the areas that you can cut corners, but it's one of the areas that you can distinguish your restaurant. So do that. Be distinguished. That's it. That's all for our Cheats this week. Be sure to follow us and share with your friends. And we always provide links in the show notes for everything you heard about today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow along on Instagram at St. Louis Mag. And feel free to give us a follow personally at George Mahe and Cheryl A. Baehr.
If you loved what you heard, show us some love by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. And if you're hungry for even more content, you can subscribe to our dining newsletters for the freshest coverage on the local restaurant and culinary scene.
Best dishes, and see you next time.